will be using the pattern that I got for free off of Mood Fabrics. It is, I believe it's in the lingerie section, but I don't remember. This is the fabric I have. It's a linen-like material. It is, I would say, medium lightweight material, and it's this burgundy wine color. Alright, so here is the whole thing laid out. I'm just going to have to pin and then sew each one of these lines. Alright, so I have this guy and this guy. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and press all of these seams open, and then I will go and attach these two and try to figure out how to put the boning in. I'm going to take one of them and pin it to the other one. So how we're going to do that, we're going to do outer facings towards each other. So right side out to right side out. And we're going to pin it all along these lines. Alright, so for the most part I'm finished. I'm just going to press this all and then do a flat stitch along the edges and on this side and where this other pin is on both edges, because I'm going to be putting eyelets in that I got from the store. And since I couldn't find the little pedestal that you use to put them in, had to get one of those too. And then I figured this fabric is kind of thick, so I might as well get some heavy-duty needles. I also decided that the middle bit here that is supposed to go, where it looks like it's supposed to go, I decided I didn't like that, especially because if I keep it, I'm going to have to put some type of bone in here, otherwise it'll just flop around, which I don't like. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off and then turn the edges in and stitch over the top. I went ahead and measured the 5 places for this half, and they're just going to be the same size, but like that half. So I've almost every single one of them is 9.5 inches. This is 9.5, 9.5, 9 and a quarter, 9.5, 9.5. Okay, so I was able to make little channels. They weren't able to go exactly on the seams because the seams, wasn't thinking very much, but the seams are curved and the boning that I have is not curved, at least when it lays down flat. So that was a bit of a pain, but it's mostly on the seams. So I did it in contrasting colors for the inside as opposed to the outside, so I could see where I was putting things. So I have all of these channels, and I already put the boning inside of them. Now all I have to do to finish the boning part, I decided to have the curve of the boning be outward so that it's so that when it goes on like this, when you tighten it, I'm not gonna do tight lacing with this, but when you tighten it, it goes more flat. So it's there's a bit of a resistance. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. It makes sense in my head, but that doesn't mean that it makes sense for anyone else. Anyway, so what I have to do now is just do a little bit of a stitch over the tops of all of these, and then I'm going to get started on the eyelets. And that's actually a really fun part once I get everything cut and put in place. I'll start smashing shit with a hammer. It's gonna be great. So what you do typically if you get a kit, this part you can either buy it separately for extra, or you can buy a whole kit that comes together, that has a bunch of the pieces together. So you'll get two pieces like this. Ooh. You'll get two pieces like this. This is the top, this is the bottom. The smaller one is the top. It's deeper, and the bottom, this is the one that goes on the inside of what you're wearing. It is wider and shallower, if that makes sense. So what we're going to do is on the right side of the fabric, I already cut all of the holes for all of this. It's okay if they're sloppy because they're going to get covered up. So you take the deeper end and you push it through like that, and then you take the shallow one and you put it on top like so. You take this part, which is called the anvil, I believe, and you put it on the back because you want that part that is going to be seen to keep its shape. The inside part isn't going to look nearly as pretty, but the outside part should, as long as you have the correct size anvil. So you take that guy and then you take this guy. I'm not quite sure what this is called, but I call it like a pedestal. You put it right on top. You put that stamp part into the hole right there. You get your big mallet and you hit it a couple of times. And voila, you have one of them done. Now I just have 12 more to go. Next step with this is I'm going to go ahead and assemble the cording. I do have a bit of the fabric of this left, so I'm going to cut a couple of strips of that and put it together so nothing frays, and then I'll lace it up. Okay, well, this is unfortunate, but this is when I figured out that it would be almost impossible to turn something this small inside out. So I'm gonna go to my stash, my ribbon stash, and see if I have any ribbon that I like, because this is now useless. So there are a couple of ways that I could do this. I could do it in a slightly more historic way, like a 1800s, 19th century way, which is a bit of a spiral. You kind of start with one and you just take one edge and you go from here to here to here. But I really like the crisscross look. It is very iconic to me, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. So this is what it looks like on. I'm as satisfied with this as I can be with this type of configuration. I think for the next one, what I will do is I will have a front lacing. That'll be a lot easier. I will do more boning probably, because right now I think this only has 10 bones in it, and that is not really enough to keep things. If I want it to work as well as a structural piece as it can be, it's not about, you know, sucking everything in. It's not about, you know, making yourself smaller. It's about keeping a shape, kind of smooth things out. I think the next one that I'm going to work on is actually going to be, I think I'm going to be remaking the Snow White, the Mirror Mirror Bandit costume that she does. I'm going to be remaking that corset because I feel like I can do it better now. That will not be the next video. I am not 100% sure what the next video will be. In the meantime, I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!